Picture this. You're in a quiet restaurant. Warm lights, soft music. A steak arrives, medium well, perfectly sliced, peacefully sitting on the plate like it signed a contract. You pick up your knife. Very calm, very modern, very far from danger. But here's the strange part. For most of human history, meat did not come quietly. It breathed, it ran, it watched you back, and sometimes it had horns big enough to make you question every life choice that brought you there. 30,000 years ago, if you wanted dinner, you had to follow it, sneak toward it, outsmart it, and hope it did not suddenly decide that you were the easier meal. Welcome to Ashborn Ancestors. Today, we're asking one simple question: before guns, before steel, before supermarkets, how did fragile humans like us hunt in a world where dinner could run faster, hit harder, and fight back? Because back then, getting food was not just eating. It was surviving the conversation with your meal. Now imagine this. Right before the first bitey, the restaurant lights flicker, the music stops, the waiter disappears, your chair disappears, and your steak, gone, very rude. Suddenly, you're standing barefoot in the cold prehistoric wilderness. No gun, no steel knife, no shoes, no salt, no sauce, no one asking how you want it cooked. Just you, a sharp rock, an empty stomach, and somewhere in the dark, something large is moving. This is the Stone Age, the service. Now, here is the problem. Humans are not exactly built like professional predators. No claws, no fangs, no thick hide, no night vision, no impressive sprint speed. Honestly, if nature were designing a hunter from scratch, we look like the rough draft. A wolf has teeth, a lion has claws, an eagle has talons, a bull has horns, and humans, we have soft skin, weird feet, and the confidence to pick up a rock and call it a plan. So the question becomes strange. How did this fragile creature, standing there with bad natural weapons and questionable footwear, manage to hunt animals that were stronger, faster, heavier, and much better equipped for violence? The answer was not strength. Step 1: find the animal first. Before ancient humans could hunt anything, they had to find it, which sounds obvious. But the wild does not come with signs saying, "Delicious animal, this way." So they read clues. Footprints in the mud, broken grass, fresh dung, scratches on trees, birds suddenly flying away, the smell of animals near water. To us, that is just dirt, grass, and something you definitely do not want to step on. To them, it was information. A fresh track could mean the animal was close. A deep track could mean it was heavy. A messy track could mean it was tired, injured, or moving fast. Before the spear moved, the eyes had to work, because the first rule of hunting was simple: you cannot eat what you cannot find. And you really do not want to accidentally find something that eats you. Step 2: pick the right target. Finding an animal was good. Choosing the wrong animal was less good. Ancient humans did not look at the biggest, strongest, angriest beast and say, "Yes, that one. Perfect." That is not hunting. That is applying to become a fossil. A smart hunter did not choose the animal most likely to delete him from history. They looked for opportunity. One separated from the herd, one moving slowly, one already injured, one trapped near mud, rocks, water, or a narrow path. Because the goal was not to prove courage. The goal was to get food and still have the same number of people walking home. Ancient humans survived because they knew when to attack, but maybe even more importantly, they knew when to say, "Nope, not that one."
Oh, I have a tool problem.
Now let's talk about the great prehistoric upgrade tools, because at some point, one ancient human looked at a wild animal, then looked at his bare hands, and probably thought, this meeting could have been avoided. So humans made distance. A sharp stone became a cutting edge. A pointed stick became reach. A spear meant the animal did not have to be close enough to personally rearrange your face. And that was a huge deal. A tool did not turn humans into monsters. It turned them into slightly safer problem solvers. Because when your dinner has teeth, horns, hooves, or the emotional stability of a charging bull, you do not want to fight it at hugging distance. The sharp rock mattered. The spear mattered. But the real idea was simple. Hit danger before danger hits you. That one idea changed everything. Step 4A, hunting together. But even with tools, one human alone was still not exactly terrifying. One person with a spear is brave, maybe too brave. Maybe someone please stop him, brave. So humans hunted together. One person followed the tracks. One person watched the wind. One person blocked the escape route. One person made noise at the right moment. One person waited quietly where the animal was expected to run. And one person, somewhere in the back, probably claimed to be supervising. This was teamwork before offices ruined the word. But unlike a bad group project, failure did not mean a lower grade. It meant someone got chased by dinner. A successful hunt needed timing, signals, patience, trust, and the ability to not panic when a very large animal suddenly ran exactly where the plan said it would run. Alone, humans were fragile. Together, they became extremely inconvenient for the rest of nature.
It must be here. We'll move them through the narrow path. Yes, into the mud.
Step 5, use the land. If humans could not beat the animal with strength, they used the ground. Mud. Cliffs, narrow paths, riverbanks, thick bushes. A smart hunt was not always about chasing harder. Sometimes it was about making the animal run somewhere stupid. Too much mud. Now its speed is gone. A narrow path. Now the herd cannot spread out. A cliff nearby. Now the animal has fewer bad choices. Ancient humans learned something very useful. You do not always need to fight nature. Sometimes you just need to trick nature into helping you. Because if dinner is faster than you, do not race it. Change the race. Step 6, wait for the right moment, and this is where patience mattered. Ancient humans could not just yell, run in, and hope for the best. That is not a strategy. That is volunteering for injury. They waited for the wind to blow the right way, for the herd to move closer, for one animal to fall behind, for panic to begin, for the perfect tiny mistake. Because in the wild, timing could decide everything. Too early, and the animal escaped. Too late, and the hunter became a warning story told around the fire. The best hunters were not always the loudest. They were the ones who could stay still, while their stomach was screaming, "Please do something." Step 7A, the moment of attack. Then came the dangerous part, the attack. Spears moved, stones flew, people shouted. The group pushed the animal toward the place they had already chosen. And for a few seconds, everything became chaos. Dust, hooings, fear. A wounded animal is not a finished animal. It is usually an angrier animal with nothing left to lose. So even at the final moment, humans had to be careful. One wrong step, and dinner could still win the argument. That is what made ancient hunting so intense. The plan had to work before the animal got evoked. And this is not just imagination. Archaeologists have found ancient wooden spears at Schordningen in Germany. In Africa, researchers have found evidence that stone points were attached to wooden shafts hundreds of thousands of years ago. Cut marks on animal bones show that early humans used sharp tools to remove meat. And large hunting structures in ancient landscapes show that humans were not just chasing animals. They were planning, guiding, trapping, thinking ahead. So before guns, hunting was already technology. Not shiny technology, not comfortable technology, but very effective, please don't die today, technology. So now, back to your steak. It sits quietly on the plate, no running, no horns, no dramatic chase scene, very polite. But behind that peaceful little dinner is an ancient story of footprints, fear, patience, sharp stones, teamwork, and many humans making very careful decisions under very bad conditions. Before guns, humans did not hunt because they were stronger. They hunted because they were smarter together. And maybe that is the strangest part. The steak on your plate is quiet now, but once upon a time, dinner fought back. And now I'm curious. If you could travel back to the ancient world for just one day, what would you want to understand first? How they hunted, how they made fire, how they slept without houses, or how they survived without becoming someone else's snack? Tell us in the comments. This is Ashborn Ancestors, where the past is dangerous, strange, and honestly a little too hungry.